I feel like the best thing about going to the gym is the actual moment when you're at the gym, when you're lifting weights, when you look like an action figure, especially once you start seeing results. Because it might be a little bit rough at the beginning when you start, but then as you're going to start seeing results, it is actually going to become a full blown addiction. And I've been doing it for quite some time now, and I've been spending quite a lot of time at the gym. And in my opinion, that is the best decision I've ever made because first of all, it's just like I never thought that I would even be able to look the way that I look now. And if you compare me to me before I started, and then you look at me now, I almost look like a different human being. Like you would probably not recognize me if you would only know the person that I was before I started training, and then you would randomly see me 10 years later. And of course, there's also like the fact that I'm just like fucking 10 years older. But no, like I just generally also like just like the shape of my body and everything like is like a different human being. Like I don't resemble the person that I looked like before I started. So yeah, and also like the other things about this is like the discipline you get from needing to stick to a schedule and needing to be at the gym on a daily basis. That kind of leaks into different aspects of your life as well. Because, for example, I do not consider myself to be a very hardworking person. I think I'm quite lazy, but I'm never late for anything just because I'm used to the routine and I'm used to the discipline. So even if I don't think I'm working all that hard, and even if I don't think that I'm that hardworking of a person, like I would never miss anything. I would be always on time for everything that I have to do. And that is a part of it for sure. And then also on top of it, just the fact that I need to stick to a diet and the fact that I can't really go out and drink on a daily basis, that also kind of keeps you grounded and kind of keeps you in a good spot when it comes to not spending your money, when it comes to like not getting into weird relationships with weird people. So yeah, actually like going to the gym has been the best decision I've made during my life. And I feel like indirectly it also completely changed my life because going to the gym and kind of acquiring this discipline is something I attribute the fact that I've also been able to travel to and that I've also had a fairly good career because I would just be able to like be at home. I wouldn't have to go out. I wouldn't have to like get distracted. I could just like focus on being at work on time every single day. I could put in the time and I wouldn't really want to like jump around and like change careers constantly because I still have a schedule that I have to keep outside of going to work. So it's not that easy to like do job hopping if you have like a thing that you want to focus on outside of work. So it has had a lot of positive effects on my life. And then it's also like the self confidence that you gain from just like being bigger and being stronger. I remember I was an absolute pussy before I started training. And I was still a pussy for quite some time when I started training, but then I also added boxing on top of it, and that completely changed like the whole mindset that I had. Because first of all, like you look like a person that people don't really want to fuck around with all that much because I basically never get into arguments. I just don't seem like somebody that you want to fuck with, even if I'm a pussy and even if I don't know how to fight. Like if you're going to be visually more intimidating, which having more muscle is going to be by default, then people are just not going to fuck with you as much. And there are going to be still people that are not going to care, and there are still going to be people that are going to argue with you. But the amount of people that are actually going to argue with you is going to be much smaller than it would be if you would be like a skinny little dude that hasn't lifted any weights during his lifetime. But then yeah, then also on top of it I added boxing, and that just kind of completely changes the way that you perceive everything and everyone around you because you're just like more open to like conversating with people, and you're more open when it comes to like being embarrassed and like getting yourself into weird situations with which quite often has a positive effect, as weird as it sounds. Because also another thing that people don't understand is like getting yourself into like weird embarrassing situations, talking to the people that you want to talk to, talking to the girl that you're going to completely flop and that you're going to have a shitty conversation with. That is a lot of experience that is actually going to end up being a valuable thing down the road because you're just going to become a more diverse, more open-minded person. And yeah, I mean, it's never going to be a bad thing to just like be able to like walk around this world, like just being able to openly conversate with people. Because I remember before I started training and before I started also doing combat sports, I had this issue where it's not even that I wouldn't want to talk to a person, it's more that I would be afraid to get myself into weird situations. So, for example, if there is a girl that I like that's like working out at the gym and there are guys next to her that she maybe doesn't even know, I would immediately assume that that could spell problems. These guys could look at me weirdly. These guys could want to start talking to me or arguing with me, and I wouldn't talk to the lady, which is crazy to me now when I remember that. But that is how I used to think. And then you start building some confidence, you get bigger, you kind of learn how to fight a little bit, and that completely changes your perception. And now I do not give a fuck about who is it that I talk to, about what is it that I do, as long as I'm not hurting anyone else, and as long as I'm not bothering people, and as long as I quite clearly can take a hint when a person doesn't want to talk to me. Like, I can do whatever the fuck I want. If you don't want to talk to me, tell me that you don't want to talk to me and I'll leave. So yeah, going to the gym has been the best decision that I've made, and like the best thing about going to the gym is just the person that you become. Nothing really compares to that. Other than that, nothing more to say for today. Today has been, well, basically kind of the same way that every single day has been for the last couple of months, going to the office, then going to the gym. But today was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed the gym session today. So I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.